Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to another Monday Night Live, 6 p.m. You may have caught me on the hot there.
It's up late watching the golf.
Sorting, I was as well, and I feel absolutely shattered today. Hope you enjoyed the PGA Championship. Scotty Scheffler wins by 5, and poor old Jon Rahm slams it in reverse, but I feel like he was really, Goose was cooked after missing a few putts and hitting it in the soup on 16, which was a real shame. But for the PGA Championship, I don't know how you feel. I was just talking to Mark, one of the fitters here earlier. It never used to get coverage back in the day before Sky, and it was something that you had to watch either on teletext or radio or something like that. But it's certainly a championship that hasn't necessarily endeared itself into the hearts of golfers. It was great to see another major championship. For me, I know we spoke, didn't necessarily grab it for you, but for me, I watched quite a lot of it and I got quite into it. But a worthy winner. Someone back in the winner's circle again. Won at the Byron a couple of weeks ago. Took a week off and then came back. Came back and won by 5. He's really put his foot on the throat of the rest of the golfers on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I think going back to what you said, I think for me it got to it built to a crescendo. It started off a bit. I think because the big names weren't up there, you're kind of a bit so it shouldn't do, but it kind of felt like it was almost a bit kind of, is it going to be a sort of funky one this year? But you kind of felt like going into the week, the course should produce a great winner. And actually it kind of built and built and built. And almost the fact that the big names, most of them had to come from behind and have a go at it, actually meant that Saturday afternoon, Sunday was really good. And I didn't last out all of it last night. Rahm saw his bunker shot on 14 and I was gone. Yeah. It's interesting. I think built to a crescendo, and it got to the point you're like, wow, actually watching Scotty go through a little bit of a dodgy period and then just go, no, I'm having this, bang. It feels like him and Rory, if Rory can kind of get himself up for it, that could be a real, and Rahm coming back, that's another kind of plus point. But it feels like there are a few coming into them having a real kind of punch up over the next few tournaments in a good way.
Are we surprised that Rory flattered to deceive?
I think hindsight, I think we all wanted it to be, he's going to just crack on. I think emotionally, Masters took so much out of him, and it's such a release that, and I think he's owed a bit of mental time off, and I feel like that's maybe where we are at the moment. That he's kind of go, the kind of the chill out of, right, I've got the big tick done. May not show up until Port Rush.
If we don't see him really show up in a major for the rest of the year, would we be deflated in that?
I think so, because I think as a golfing public, we want to see him against Scheffler going head to head. We want it to be, DeChambeau, Rahm, McIlroy, Scheffler, Adam Scott, Homer. You want them all firing, and so actually the real box office for me is McIlroy, Scheffler going at it hammer and tongs.
Scheffler's playing this week, PGA Tour. He goes out and wins by 5-10 again, which we haven't seen Rory do on a PGA Tour event from my memory. Are we seeing someone, even though Rory's won the Masters, are we seeing someone still play quite a few levels better than Rory?
I think with Scheffler, it's the consistency of it. I think put them both on, it's incredibly close. In my head, as I was saying that, I was thinking, does Rory get it? I don't know. I think Rory has the odd, when he's on in a round and he's flowing, there's just something majestic about watching it. It just looks so natural with it. Scheffler, to me, doesn't look natural with it because of what's going on. It's less pretty to watch from just the orthodoxy of it. However, you look at what he does with a golf ball and it is so impressive. But I think Scheffler's consistency is the bit that marks him. He could quite feasibly surpass quite quickly.
Yeah, I think we do pay a lot of attention to golfers and pretty swings and then the ball coming off and doing nice things. I think the caveat to that is Bryson doesn't look orthodox, but he's hits it so far and he's so accurate that we almost kind of look past the unorthodox part of it. I was quite surprised Ewan Murray. There does feel a bit of a thing with the live players that they don't want to give them credibility. You know, Brandel Chambly was talking about the fact that, you know, John Rahm's golf swing gets shorter and shorter the more he gets into contention. And then he goes on, you know, and then on the flip side talks about Bryson, you know, he's got a long swing and he didn't get it done either. I think there's too much importance placed on Rahm's swing. But I was surprised, what I was going to say is I was surprised that Ewan Murray said that Bryson is sometimes box office. I think if there is anyone in the world of golf right now, that there is only one guy that's box office, and I think that's Bryson. And I think if you were to watch Rory in his absolute best and Bryson his absolute best, I think you would get more people wanting to watch Bryson at his best because you don't know what you're going to get with him. Rory, you sort of do, and whilst I think that we all love Rory and we want to see him to do well, and he's an incredible player, I think the box office nature of a golfer is, you know, the fact that Bryson ate a cookie in his interview on Saturday afternoon. I don't know if you saw it. He ate a cookie in his interview on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, and Andy Coulthard, you know, made reference to it. That is just the type of thing that makes him box office. Now, you could either say that was being rude or a bit showy, but it's what Bryson does. And I think it's quite interesting to see that I don't think we've ever been in an era where we've seen so many different personalities, right? You've got a Scheffler that is vanilla. I think we've got
I think
we've got
that's
Bryson
the only
that's
issue
so far out there, and then we've got Rory that kind of sits somewhere in the middle.
I think that's for me. That's probably the one thing that I have massive admiration for Scheffler and what he can do. I can't find myself pulling for him.
No, I agree.
And there's nothing against him. It's not a negative. I'm not saying I don't want him to win, but I don't find myself wanting him to win. Now, maybe that's just because there's an inevitability about it. People probably had the same about Nicklaus years back. I think you go back to that era, I think you had those personalities.
Yeah.
And you had Nicklaus, who was more your Scheffler. You've got Palmer, which is more your Bryson / Rory. Trevino, who is an out there. But I think then it became, like 80s, 90s, it became a bit more...
it was the Faldo era, which didn't really do anything.
You got
it was
your Langers
Faldo,
and
Norman.
Faldos
Yeah,
and,
Faldo, Norman, right? Norman was the show.
And I think now you're right. I think we're getting back to where players are, and it's great for the game that's showing their personalities a little bit more. You know, your Lowry's, your Scheffler, Bryson, Rory, Homer online. They've got a bit more of an outlet to show who they are. Minwoo online is hilarious. But yeah, I think on-course game, Bryson and Rory, I think, have the most box office games because they just do things that you're not going to see others do. Scheffler's game is box office, but from a conformity point of view, it's everything you'd want your game to be. But to watch, is he going to do something that you're not going to see any other player do coming down the stretch other than hit all the fairways and the greens? Maybe not.
Let us know.
That's why he's winning so much.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Let us know who your pick was, or who was your pick for a golfer that you enjoy watching most out of the weekend. Love to hear it. As usual, we've got our discs. We've got James in the background doing all the edit, and we've got Barney asleep on the floor waiting for his dinner. Sparko. Let's get on to the questions. We've got a few firing in, which is great to see.
And one other thing briefly this week, Platform Golf partnership with us. There's a launch party the next couple of days. Keep an eye out for Platform Golf on the socials, and you'll see some of the upcoming events that are happening in the next couple of days.
Very good. Simon Hogg. Hi, Stu and Simon. Good evening, Simon. Had the pleasure of coming in for a fitting with Nick a couple of weeks ago. Learned so much, thank you. What's the funniest thing you have ever seen on the golf course?
The funniest thing I've ever seen on the golf course involved the man behind the desk over there that you can't see. We were playing in Orlando with the guys from Auburn and VA Composites when they were both at Auburn. And James, there was a course worker stood about 30 yards ahead underneath a tree, just off to the side of the tee. And James absolutely smoked his drive, but blocked it at about 30-degree angle. It hit a branch, and I swear to God, it accelerated down. And if I'm the courseworker, the ball landed where your feet are, and it nearly killed him. And once we realised that he was okay, I don't think any of us could play a shot for the next 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was in the Czech Open. It's not the funniest thing I've seen, but funniest thing I've been a part of, and the most embarrassing thing. I was in the Czech Open. I grabbed the flag stick and I forgot to put it back in the hole walking off the back of the green. I had to walk across the green with all the gallery. So that was a fairly uncomfortable moment, which
It would
was
have been tough to get in the bag, that
which was very funny for everyone else, but not so much for me. Hopefully that amused. Leo asks, good evening, boys. Good evening, Leo. Do you have some drills to help with chipping? I leave so many shots out there around the greens. Well, I think chipping ultimately comes down to good contact and controlling the loft. I think if you are practicing on a TrackMan or some sort of radar device, working out what your angle of attack is absolutely top of the pile, and then work out what your path is. Angle of attack really takes energy away if you're either too steep or too light. If you're too steep, you've got no swing of the club, taking out the loft, and you're really not getting that much energy. If you've got too little angle of attack, you're then producing too much loft again. So you're not maximising really the effort that you put in for the ball speed that you're getting out. And once you've started to understand what your attack angle is and what your path is, then just get into some ladder drills. It's very simple. Just get yourself chipping to 3 yards, then chip to 4 yards, to 5 yards, to 6 yards, to 7 yards. So you start to get a sensation of how much swing you need to put in to control your land point, and that will really start to build up your chipping. But hopefully that helps you.
Is there an angle of attack window you'd look for, or is it one of those? Is it one of those that's a bit different player to player, or is there like a ideal?
Yeah, I think with chipping, when you look at someone's full game, as in full swing, you'd get an idea of the way they're going to chip, and everyone's different. TrackMan doesn't take into account the handle when it's creating angle of attack. Yeah. It's only measuring the head. So angles of attack, if you had 5 people at 3 down, they could all deliver different loft angles with a 56 degrees. So to say this is what you're looking for, no, it'd be different for everyone, I think. Okay. Yeah. Simon Muggleton. No, Leo. Sorry? Oh, goodness me, it's moved down. Louis. Louis.
For those who couldn't hear, James was saying Louis' name about 4 times.
Louis.
Poor Stuart looked very blank.
Louis, sorry. The trouble with YouTube, just to make you all clear, when a new message comes through, it scrolls up. So I can scroll it down to the spot that I just finished, and then it jumps back down, and then I have to scroll back through again. So that's why I look bamboozled most of the time. I do that anyway. But Louis Goucher, as James repeated 4 times. Evening, guys. Rory once said, when you're playing well, it's hard to imagine ever playing bad. I said this, not Rory. Anyway, but yeah, he did too. And when you're playing bad, it's hard to imagine ever playing well. Any tips on how to stay focused? Well, staying focused is just making sure that you know what shot you're trying to play. And knowing what shot to play is a process of check out what lie is, check out the distance, then check out the slope, check out where the flag is. So having a strategy where you want to play your next shot from, your strategy of how you assess the shot is the way to stay focused. You don't want to go and stand off to the side and stare into the sunset and trying to focus on the best shot you've ever played. The more you get into your processes, the more you'll stay focused on what you're trying to do. And I think what's really important is that once you've hit the shot, it's time to check out of golf as much as you can, chat to your pals, or even talk to yourself if you can, and get away from the shot that you've just hit. So it gives you a bit of time. 5 hours of thinking about golf and being focused is incredibly difficult. That's why everyone talks about playing the majors and how they have to really economise on their efforts and their energy for the week, because they are long weeks. So I would say get into your pre-shot routine, assessment of the shot, and then check out there after you've played the shot. That would be the best way forwards for me. September 79:17 p.m. That's a very good handle.
Very specific.
Hi guys, have you ever had anyone come over from Northern Ireland for a fitting? What's the closest airport to fly into if I was thinking of coming over?
I'm pretty certain we have. Certainly Ireland, generally. But the
Have
closest
people
one
from
would
all
be
over the world.
closest one would be Heathrow. Yeah, Heathrow would be the closest one. Or if you're doing it in a private jet, then you can fly into Fair Oaks.
Yeah. Yeah, or if you've got a helicopter, you can land in the car park.
Yeah.
Simon Muggleton, question to you both. We had a lot of questions to us this evening. It's nice to see. Thank you for that. Question to you both. Taking clubs abroad for the first time. Club Pro has let me borrow motor caddy flight bag. Nervous for the clubs. Any tips and tricks for protecting them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I always do, so when you are away playing, you can get yourself, depending on how precious your clubs are, I mean, they're all precious to us, right? Some sleep with their clubs. Some leave them in the garage.
Oh, not that precious. Yeah.
No, but we all love our clubs,
Yeah,
and we want to make sure that you can get, depending on the bag, first of all, the bag. If the bag is a lightweight one, you need a little bit of stability, and then you can get yourself a pole where you jam the pole in, and it's above the end of your driver, so that if anything whacks it on the top, it stops your driver from getting hit. That would be...
I think that's a club glove one. It's got a little disc on the top.
Yeah, that's
then
right.
that takes the impact when the baggage handler struck it.
So if you can find something like that, that would be the top priority. The second one I would absolutely suggest is if you've got alignment sticks, make sure you take them out of your bag, because if they move around and then the alignment stick goes up the inside of your head cover, and then it spends 3 hours on a flight, the top of your driver will look like it's been around for 150 years.
Yeah.
So that would be second top tip. Then grab your bag towel and jam it in. Get as many towels in there as you can, in between the travel cover. And then I'd pack the bag out with clothing, so it gives you a bit more protection around the outside, pants and socks, that sort of stuff. And then you're good to go. But other than that, make sure you take your rangefinder out, stick that in your travel cover. I've had one go missing in my travel cover, because at the end of the day, you can get a biro, a Bic biro, jam it in a zip, rip it down, and it'll open it up. So padlocking your suitcase or anything like that, waste of time. Leave it open. At least they can just rifle through it.
If you go to the States, or come back to this, they will anyway. The only other thing is actually sometimes take the driver head off. Then put the tip in the bottom. So put the grip end up, then put the wood heads in the side pocket. That's another way of just stopping the driver shaft snapping anyway.
So hopefully there's a few top tips in there that will help you. And whatever you do, don't buy a fancy... well, I tell you, the only fancy schmancy travel cover to buy is Club Glider, which is really, really... Have you seen those?
Yeah. The ones with the stand of the wheels come out. Yeah,
really, really good. They're really useful. But other than that, if you don't buy a Club Glider, spend as little as you can on one, because invariably they don't do anything. Yeah, they're super padded out, but they just get tossed around so much, and the clubs weigh a fortune. I just don't think that spending loads on a travel cover is the way to go, personally. Hopefully that helps. Papa B, hello young men. Hello Papa B. Ludwig Oberg includes hitting high and low flighted 7-woods in his warm-up. How about a high-low 7-wood challenge between you two boys, along with your favourite 7-woods on the market? We can do that. I haven't got a 7-wood.
I haven't got a 7-wood. I'll put it together.
Go throw a 7-wood together for the pair of us. While Simon nips off and does that, I'm going to dash over to my channel and answer a couple of questions on there. Good Golf Coaching. Kev T, evening gents. Evening Kev, nice to have you with us. I enjoy the instructional technical videos you both do, always first class. When will the next on-course instructional video be coming out? The on-course instructional video series I am shooting at the moment, and I will be getting those out as and when. To do on-course vlogs or anything like that takes an incredible amount of time. I did a 9-hole playing lesson. I went out and videoed with my wife and I, and it took us 4.5 hours to video 9 holes, and then it took me 20 hours to edit a video that at the time I got about 2,000 views, which gets you about threepence halfpenny, 2 bob and a rabbit. So to do that is just an incredible amount of time. So it's really tough to do on-course stuff, and time is really in short supply at the moment. So that's a long-winded answer, but I will get on-course stuff fitted out over the coming months. But yeah, it's certainly on the agenda, Kev. Hopefully that answers. Mark Rowley, hi fellas. I'm playing Mizuno MP18 SC irons, not very forgiving. So lessons to hit these better or upgrade. Cheers.
Oh, you can make arguments for both. I mean, lessons to get technique as good as it can. Absolutely, that's always a good idea. But equally speaking, if the clubs are making it hard to get the best out of, I mean, it could be head or shaft, but if the clubs are making it hard to get the best out of your action, then all it does is make it hard to improve your swing and your performance on course. So the answer is both. Get them checked out, make sure that they're appropriate and they're helping you, and then get the coaching, because best players in the world have coaching. We all need it. So that way you have the two-pronged attack and you can enjoy your game as much as you can.
Can't be a two-pronged attack, can
No,
it?
absolutely.
Bama number 1, evening gents, looking quite dapper tonight. Thank you very much. How about Luke Donald day 1? Yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
I tell you what, if you had a bet on for Luke Donald to be top 5 after day 1, you'd have cashed out a rich man.
Yeah, 350 to 1 you would have got probably.
I mean, that was
at worst.
But just shows how well he must have putted. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's.
Nice
he was a great player.
Nice to see.
Just
nice to
4 rounds for a player like that around that course.
Yeah.
Hard. But
Funny
great
career.
to see him up there.
Funny career Luke had, right? I mean, I did some work with Dave Allred, and he was working with Luke at the time. Hello. Oh, we're back.
We're back.
Sorry about that. Minor adjustment.
Apparently, we sounded strange.
Yes. So Doug was down, got a great trip, and thank you for your custom. Appreciate that. Skulltara X2 of the 3, Rory. Oh, of the 3. So this is about who he likes.
We're back.
Well, there we go.
About that.
Hang on. Of the 3, Rory, because he can be untouchable, and then mortal, absolutely. Scotty for his precision, Bryson on YouTube, but not a fan of his swing. Yeah, absolutely. Aaron, evening gents, driver problem. All values are averages from Top Tracer. 205 carry, 230 total, 140 ball speed, 14-degree launch, 66 feet peak height, paradigm 10.5 degrees head. Think I'm dragging the handle. Unfortunately, Aaron, you're going to tell very little from Top Tracer data. You really don't. I mean, you're using range balls. Unless it's a radar TrackMan, I wouldn't get too involved in that. Get yourself on a TrackMan or a GC Quad. Get some data, spend some time in there, get some data and send it our way, and we'll gladly help you out with that. Jumping back over. Oh, we got the 7-wood. Yeah, 7-wood
So
challenge.
we're doing low, high.
Low and high.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to do
see how low we can get it?
Minimum peak height, maximum peak height.
Yeah.
Right, let me stick a peak height.
Let's do that. This is a very interesting, challenge. If you are new to Monday Night Live, we do this every single week other than bank holidays, and we have a bank holiday next Monday. So get all your questions in. I know.
Of course, it's come thick and fast
They
this time,
do. They do in the UK. None in the US. I think we can.
Yeah. Just squeeze it. Yeah, there we go. Right.
Yeah, so we do this every Monday, 6 p.m. We answer all your questions on golf equipment, golf coaching, and anything else. I mean, fashion advice from James behind the camera. Two
bits of fashion.
Two bits of fashion advice.
Right, so I'm going to go high first.
You're going high. Okay.
And we're not doing scything it, Miles. This is ideally kind of. It's not a hook and a slice.
Yeah, no, it's got to go straight.
It's a proper,
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. So super straight, super high.
Right. Trying to put my back out.
Oh, that looks a good effort. That I quite like that.
That went. Oh, I sliced it.
That's all right.
That's a fade. It's a fade.
Yeah, it's not.
That
big.
went higher than I thought it was going to go.
That's not a big. It's big. It's not a big slice.
So we got peak at 155 foot.
155 foot. Okay.
What's the launch angle? 20-degree launch.
20-degree launch. Okay. All right. No,
I was going to say,
that's not
you
good.
might struggle on this one, but you're going to beat me on the next one.
That's not very good. That's not very good.
108.
Yeah. What were you?
155.
Yeah, it's not very good, is it?
Yeah, but that now we get the flip of it.
Yeah.
So I'd have said I would have put my chances at that one higher than this one, based on the fact that Stuart plays an 11-degree driver and I play an 8.
Yes. Yeah, this is my forte, hitting it low.
Without patting it. Actually, I quite like that swing.
Nice shot. That's a nice shot. Nice shot.
117, that's higher than your high one.
Yeah,
I'm going to lose this one.
Yeah, this isn't going to be.
Way.
Yeah, this isn't going to be that difficult for me.
But it goes to show, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
we've always said our swing speeds and deliveries are very similar, but very different.
Yeah,
so, like for me, hoist the thing up, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah, no, not my forte. That. What was I at?
56.
56. Yes, quite.
So there actually is about 50 foot between each one.
Yeah. That's a fair effort.
There you go.
Fair effort. Where's the thing? Oh, it's over there. There it is. There. Lovely. All right. Going back to the channel.
Carry was within a yard, and 2 yards both times. Interesting. Yeah.
That is very impressive.
Wouldn't have picked that. Right.
Give the video a like. Share it with your pals. Let's keep growing. Thank you. So, getting on to, we've got the Yorkshire Blade in. Nice to see him in there. Is that the next one? I think it is. Yes, it is. The Yorkshire Blade. Hi, guys. Over 2 rounds this weekend. Inexplicably, everybody classes me as a good putter. I have missed 10 putts inside 2.5 feet by pull left. Will a long grip counterbalance help?
No, not directly. If you're a good putter and you just had a couple of poor rounds,
don't change.
It's probably that you're starting to you're trying to not miss it rather than trying to hole it. You don't overnight become a bad putter. It's just whether it's an alignment or you're looking for it or yeah.
Was it fueled by vodka Red Bull the night before? Was it some red wine or white wine gin? Maybe something like that. I would go with that first. Reduce that first before you buy a new putt.
Definitely, if that's an oddity for you, don't go looking for a fix to something that probably doesn't need it.
I think tonight might be the last night. Oh, hang on a second. Is this a smaller iPad? Oh, this is a smaller. Phew. I thought my eyes were literally fading.
This is feeling awfully far away.
This feels like so small, this writing. This could be the last week I was about to say without glasses.
That is tougher than that one.
This is brutal. This is brutal. This is giving me a headache. Gal Palank. Hello, Simon. I'm here too. Anyway, would you ever recommend bending iron lofts so they would be spaced in even 4-degree increments, so they would be greatest separation. So there would be greatest separation in the carry distances of long irons, or the greatest greater.
Yeah. You certainly can do. I think it's ultimately it's what you're trying to achieve, flight and gapping and shot types. Really, that top end of the bag, whether it's long irons, hybrids, fairways, and how you utilise them. It's just what are the yardages and the gaps you're trying to hit, and how you're trying to strategize at that bit of the bag. What flight are you trying to get? What kind of shot type you're trying to get? So the answer is absolutely we consider it. It's just what's the right thing for that player, for where you play most of your golf, and for the kind of ball flights you need and distance control.
I've gone for the bigger iPad. I couldn't do that anymore. Chong and Yap, is there a formula to calculate the amount of spin axis based on the delta of face to path? And what is the acceptable fairways in regulation spin axis, example 20 degrees for a 250-yard drive? Well, the spin axis tilt is 4-to-1 on a driver, and 2-to-1 with an iron, thereabouts. It changes slightly. You've got to factor in heel and toe strike with a driver, the roll and bulge. Huge differentials when you start going off the sweet spot, not so much with an iron. But that would be the answer to that for you. Thomas Millard, evening, gents. My current irons are SWE2 to E2.5 at 1.5 inch longers. That sounds very heavy. And is that right?
It's less heavy than it sounds. Once you put the length in there, you're like, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Anyways, to lower swing weight apart from changing grips, is there any ways to lower the swing weight apart from lowering the grips?
I mean, you can change the swing weight by changing the shaft, but are you just putting a sticking plastic? The heads are still going to be freaking heavy for a build of that length, and that's the problem. Are you changing the right bit? Now, unfortunately, at that length, you're probably in a. I'm guessing a Callaway or some of the Titleist go a little bit lighter, potentially a Cobra, but yeah, Ping, Mizuno are slightly lighter. Some of the Titleist heads you can get lighter heads to accommodate the longer length, but you might be making a negative change. It's a very difficult one because there are so relatively few options that going that much longer. The components that actually work for that kind of length build, but you can't make a heavy head right by either going very light in shaft to drop swing rate, because then you end up with a lead ball at the end of a piece of string, or you go a heavy grip to counterbalance, then you just up the dead weight to try and make it swing lighter. So the heavy head may just be the problem, sadly.
Difficult. Difficult. A. Hi. Hi. I'm playing a 10.5 driver adjusted to 9 degrees and a 55 gram regular shaft. Based on foresight, my club head speed is about 95 plus or minus 3 miles an hour. Descent angle of 41 degrees, so shots don't roll as much. What can I do?
Ultimately, either head style, being lower spin, or it is a lower lofted head. If you're coming in at that height, okay, if the shaft is horribly unsuitable and you're not getting solid strike and dispersion, then probably a heavier shaft would help timing. But if the timing is good and it's just going off high and landing steep with loads of spin, then it's the head style and or the loft, most likely both, that are wrong. Because you want to be probably 10 degrees lower than that, certainly 6 or 7. So yeah, look at the launch and the spin. If your spin rate's in the 3000s, sounds like it might be nearer the 4000s, but if it's in the 3000s, it's too high. But if you've got your driver lofted down as much as you can, then it's the wrong base loft.
Yorkshire Blade, sound gone. Thank you, Yorkshire Blade.
Hopefully it's back on now.
Yeah. Uncatina, A. Josh Wright, no sound either. Anderman, no sound either. Mr. Titleist, lovely. You may tell us that story again because the sound went. What story was that? That might have been the story about.
Was that the embarrassing story?
Yeah.
Was that the funny story?
We don't need to hear that again. The Yorkshire Blade. You missed my question. Missed your question. No, answered your question. Yorkshire Blade. Yep. Sorry, who is it? Sorry. Eric Wallace tried Ventus Blue.
Yeah.
One
above that.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
It
Eric
was above
Wallace.
AA.
Sorry,
it was above the next AA.
Yeah, right, sorry. Yeah. Hi, fellas. Is there a quick way to tell if a shaft is too stiff, not stiff enough, based on the strike location and or swing weight? Went from centered-ish to super extreme toe on driver, same swing weight.
So it won't be stiffness unless you've gone from the softest ladies flex you could find to one of the stiffer profiles. Flex will create a little bit more shaft bowing, but it's not going to massively affect. If you take a flex on its own, it's not going to massively affect strike point. But if by changing flex, you've changed the weight of the shaft, that will affect your delivery. So flex is really a little bit of head kicks underneath. The softer you go, so you get a bit more launch and spin. But it's more feel than anything else, and whether the player trusts it. So look at the weight change of the flex of shaft of the flex change. On some brands, it can be 4 or 5 grams, which is nearly 10% of the shaft weight. So that will be the main difference. And flex, like if you're hitting it well and it's going consistently and it's going well, then go back to that stiffer shaft because it's really not going to have a major effect on performance.
I think it might be the late night of watching the PGA Championship that might be playing a part in this, chap. Sorry about that. Now I'm on to Eric Wallace's second question, I believe. That's right. Tried Ventus Blue 1K White Diamana GT. Switched from G440 Max to LST. Same swing weight on all and couldn't get close to a decent strike with the Max to LST. That was the answer. That was the same. That was following on from his original question.
Couldn't strike the Max. Couldn't strike the LST versus the Max.
Yes.
So the LST, obviously the weight position is different. So the more forgiving the weight back on the Max gives you some stability, but it is a higher spin head. It may well be that the Max in the 9-degree lofted down then gets that flight down enough for you.
AAA goes on to say sometimes the spin numbers on my shots vary from 2.5 to 3.5k. This is with his driver. I can manipulate the spin to 1.8k by making it draw, but I would say it's suboptimal since I cannot control the shot shape of 100%. Cannot control the shot shape 100%. Well,
then the shaft to head weight ratios are off because you're not able to. Yeah. So if the spin's fluctuating, it's probably strike as well. So again, that all feeds into you and the club are not working as a team. So something, whether it's shaft weight or swing weight, that's going to have a major impact on your consistency.
Miss Ali Nerd, MS Ali Nerd. Hi gents, if your driver shaft has been pured and then at some point you change the loft of the driver, would it have any negative impact on the performance of the shaft?
A little bit. The puring orients the most stable point target side, so it reduces any extraneous twisting at impact, and basically the shaft will recover back onto that stable point more regularly. So it's not going to fundamentally change the way the shaft performs, but you might get a little bit of offline twisting and bending at impact, which means just a little bit more dispersion in spin and left-right as well. So just tightens up the consistency. The times you can change the setting and it doesn't affect it on the Callaway sleeve. As long as you keep the 2 white notches in line, you can change the settings to anything. On the Titleist and the Cobra, if the number stays the same, then it also doesn't change the shaft orientation.
Aaron, over on my channel, evening gents, driver problem. All values are average from. Oh, answered that one already.
So sing us a tune. Then.
Yeah. Aaron says hazardous has the 6.0. Oh, he talks about his driver, but yeah, I answered that question. Okay, so no worries on that one. David Hammond, any tips on chipping out low from under the tree canopies this time of year, other than from Stuart stating don't drive into them in the first place? Yeah, I mean, chipping out, it's funny, chipping out can be a stressful situation because you've taken your sort of medicine and you're chipping out. I think just play the shot with authority. It's a negative connotation or a negative shot. You're just trying to put it back in play. Again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier about short game practice, controlling your pitch point. If you've got some control of strike and your pitch point, you'll feel like you can play the shot with a positive standpoint. So I would just make sure that you play every chip out of the trees aggressively, positively, like you're going to try and get through the shot. That would be my top tip.
Most people underdo it and end up landing in the rough and still in trouble.
Yeah, because they're worried about shooting over the other side of the fairway. DSC 6072 recommends to David punching out. I try to hit them a little skinner to keep the launch down. Just take less loft would be my advice. Brian Crawford, gents, it's been very dry here in Florida. So many courses are tight and hard. It's getting that way here as well, Brian, to be fair. Based on these conditions, what is preferred, higher or lower angle of attack with irons? Well, it doesn't really need to change, to be honest. It just depends on how high your low point is of your golf swing. You could be 8 degrees down and not take a divot. You could be 1 degree down and take lots of divots. So angle of attack does not mean that you're going to take lots of turf. So that would be the answer to that one.
Someone with a bit of a steeper delivery who tends to trap it more will prefer the firmer conditions.
Yeah.
But that's about the only difference, really, isn't it?
For sure. YouTube just reloading. My apologies. And talk amongst yourselves. Pro V1 David. Hi guys. Went to the British Golf Show at the weekend. Where was that?
I guess. Is it Birmingham way? Yeah,
right, okay.
I think.
Let us know where it was. Had a fitting with the adjustable putter runner. Have you come across this brand and your thoughts? Hang on. Hang on. I found the fitted putter was very good.
Yeah, so interesting company. Had some emails with them, and it's just one of those where, for us at the moment, when it's mid-season, there's only so much product we can hold during the year. But in terms of the adjustability, the visual alignments, the weight positioning, the ability to dial the spec in, very, very interesting. They're not the prettiest beast in the world, and putters that can be prohibitive. We've seen that before with other brands that have loads of tech and are really well designed, but people just don't buy into because they want the brand or they want it to look nice. However, it's a really interesting concept. Yeah.
I've been described like that.
What an interesting concept.
Not the prettiest beast. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Where are we? Hi Wycombe.
No, we're in West Byfleet.
Hi Wycombe. Oh, hi Wycombe. James has just shouted how I thought someone's handle was called Hi Wycombe. I've missed another question.
I thought that's what he said.
Hi Wycombe is the golf show, I'm guessing. The British golf show.
Yeah.
Well done, James.
That makes sense.
Well done, James. He's not just sipping cocktails behind there. Matthew Foster. Hi boys. What VA composite shaft for low launch and low spin?
So it's tip heavy, but the ride's in black. That one is designed around tip stiff, lower launch. That's the lowest launching, lowest spinning profile that they do. But quite tip heavy.
Noel 1988. Good evening, gents. Good evening. A little late to the party. Played a competition on Saturday. Bull Tray Golf Club. Big shout out to Bull Tray Golf Club and all its members. Got the win. Took the advice you both gave and had a better mindset. Come on. That's what we want to hear. Nice feedback.
The photo of the trophy.
Yeah,
Is it a nice trophy? Is it a jacket, trophy, or a credit for the pro shop?
Email a photo over and we'll make sure we give it a shout out next week. Email simon@precisiongolf.co.uk.
Always good to get a W.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. The Yorkshire Blade, no alcohol involved. I think I had fear of missing after the first one.
And the problem is that with golf is you're going to get the same putt over and over and over again because golf likes kicking you in the goalies. Yeah.
Pictures released today of the new Titleist irons, says Ray Eccleston. Any comments and when should you see demos?
So no comments because we're not allowed to. And we will be having a session with the guys from Titleist in a couple of weeks' time to go over the design. When I was over there 4, 5, 6 weeks back, they were completely out of sight. They haven't officially released images to any one of us yet. So they might be on a conforming list or someone's got some photos of them. But I have literally no info. We had the president of Titleist Golf Clubs in a couple of weeks back, other than a little bit of kind of high level stuff about potential slight performance variables from the current models. Couldn't tell us anything at that point. So I know that the tour players are just getting them about now. But August will be launch date, and we won't be able to tell you anything until about mid-July, I would have thought.
Very good. Richard Skinner, great show, guys. Thank you, Richard. What are the standout performance products this year? What clubs have been performing the best in your fittings? Apart from you.
I don't perform in fittings, you see. I just stand back and a bit like stand back and just pass over information. Let me think. I think actually the heads that I've been, I'm not going to say surprised about, but they've maybe outperformed where I expected them to. I've really enjoyed the 925 Forge JPX Mizuno irons. They've kept a nice feel to them, giving some performance back. Are they amazing compared to other models? No, but I think they've kept a really nice feel and look to them. So they've been a really nice addition to the line this year.
Is Luke still Mizuno? Luke Donald? Is he canned that?
I don't know, actually.
Good question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Yeah, probably.
Camden.
No, I think probably would still be in the
yeah.
irons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is still in the irons, but not the woods. I was trying to think, wood-wise, what's stood out to me? TaylorMade fairwoods are very good this year.
Are they?
Yeah. The extra adjustability that we've got into sort of 5 woods and into the core model, that's been a really good help for us. So yeah, those two probably. The Mizuno ones, so there's not really a standout iron, but that's been a nice addition this year.
Richard Skinner, Stuart, my son was experiencing early extension this weekend. Any advice on how to resolve? He looks great at the top of the backswing. Fantastic. I did a video. I released one today and I released one 2 days ago. So it'll be the second video on my channel. Go check that out. That will give you all your early extension needs. Pro V1 David, he says hi Wickham as well. So he agrees with James. Well, he would agree with James because he was probably there. Dave Sturgeon, hi, use Modus 105S shafts. Would the 105 wedge shaft be a good place to go?
I mean, there's a definitely maybe element to it. If you want to retain a similar weight profile through, basically if you tend to be quieter hands and more body turn with wedges, then maintaining weight is quite a good way to be. The wedge shaft is designed with a slightly softer tip section, so it should complement well. Or for some places, like I go a little heavier into my kind of scoring wedges. I keep my gap wedge the same as my irons, and then I go a little heavier. So you might then want to look at either the 115 or actually the Modus 120. I use that rather than the specific wedge shaft. Just prefer the feel of it.
Very good, very good. Noel says he won a 200, yes, 200 euro voucher for the Pro Shop.
Good.
I may sneak.
Not many years ago, you'd have to give up your amateur status.
Oh my goodness! Did you win it? Did you get any?
That's a big old comp, that.
Yeah. Did you get a twos club as well? Twos club.
Yellow medalist.
Yeah. Ooh. I may sneak a new club into the bag. Why sneak it? The wife doesn't need to know because you won it up at the club.
Just won.
Just won it. New club into the bag if something shiny catches my eye.
Ah,
wow.
The golfing magpie.
Yes.
Yeah.
The honeymoon period. Oh, yeah. You can always find a new putter. There'll be one kicking around. I've just seen.
The Yorkshire Blade's got one going by the sound.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a video. I've just seen a message come through from Gary Satterfield. I always get nervous when this happens. Hey guys.
200 euros. That's a good win. Good win.
Yeah, 200 euros. That's mad. Stu, can I assume it's harder for me to keep the crease in my wrist with my grip with the driver because of the length of the driver? No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily.
There you go.
There you go.
What is the wrist crease in the driver, for those that are unaware?
The wrist crease in the driver...
Those talking about the crease line in his trousers.
Yeah, no, the wrist crease in the driver is when the club starts to get swinging. If you haven't checked out my grip series, go check that out. When you swing the golf club, that crease and cup in there is what we're looking for, as opposed to...
no, that's ugly with the driver, that one, isn't it? An uncreased wrist, you don't want, do you?
Yeah.
Now I understand. I have an aversion to an uncreased wrist.
Yes. Well, we've got through all the questions. Yeah, I think we should have a little nearest the pin.
Okay, so yeah.
Let's have a little nearest the pin.
Chuck a suggestion in for a course that you know is on TrackMan.
Yeah, and we'll do it. But while we do that, we'll have a little nearest the pin somewhere.
Where should we go?
Let's go to
Games closest to the pin.
Adair Manor. There you go. Just pick one.
Or do you want a Cabot Citrus Farms?
There you go.
People like that, don't we? Right.
Want something?
292. We're not going off that.
Oh no. No.
What do you want?
Yeah, go to pick the 247 and pick the 186. There you go. Pick those two. And we'll get a little nearest the pin going.
Oh, this is a very new one, so it's installing.
Oh.
Won't take long.
Okay, that's good. We've got another question coming. Regarding my question earlier, I actually... Ear. That's a Geordie accent if you are not from the UK. Regarding my question earlier, I actually just bought a GT2 9 degree loft with a 55 gram stiff shaft. Waiting for it to come, but hopefully the base loft will work
was
better.
a 10 half turn down. Yeah, definitely.
For me,
GT2 is not a spinny head either, so that's a sound option. Yeah.
Shaft open to changing after 2. The Yorkshire Blade, ha ha ha, laugh out loud, Simon. The Yorkshire Blade wants us to play the Belfry 10th hole.
It's not on here, sadly.
Not on there. Yeah. Choose again.
I mean, that would be a really good one.
That would be a good one. I've got to tell you, I feel cream crackered after watching the PGA last night. Absolutely cream crackered.
What do you got? Two attempts. Two attempts.
Two attempts. Those of you that enjoyed the PGA, what was a standout moment for you? Let us know. For me, it was the hole-in-one by Siwoo Kim.
Oh, what was it, about 400-yard hole-in-one, wasn't it? The 240, 250 odd?
Yeah. It was a long hole-in-one. That was a standout point. And I think I enjoyed seeing Jon Rahm play well in the majors. I'm a fan of his golf swing, actually. I like the way he plays. He looked like he had a bit more flow and flair. I couldn't believe he was 30. He's 30 years old, Jon Rahm. Feels like he should be much older than that.
It's the hair on his face.
Yeah.
No, I think also you're up first. I think also from a European point of view, this as well. Ryder Cup coming up. We want him playing well.
Oh yeah.
But actually, I think it also him going on a charge felt like it started to light up. Scheffler then had to respond, and that to me just kind of gave it a little bit more of a pep up.
I don't think I've got a 2.254 iron in me tonight. I feel like I'm absolutely on fumes. I think we are absolutely going to... No, that's the wrong...
No, it's in New York.
I think we're going to win the Ryder Cup. I was about to say I think we're going to destroy the Americans.
It is what we're May, June, July, August. It's still 4 months away.
No, I don't think Scotty Scheffler is a massive Ryder Cup fan player. I think I think if it was... Yeah, I just don't think...
I just hesitate purely because there is such home advantage in the results of
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And New York, I wouldn't fancy being a European player in New York because I think it's a bear pit to go into there.
Yeah.
And if the US get up early, then I think that's a big old tide.
I still think we're going to win. Do you not think we're going to win?
I think it could be, of course, lends up to an absolutely epic set of matches.
Yeah.
I just would like there not to be controversy this year. Like some really good, strong match play, but none of the kind of the fighting afterwards as well.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to rip this straight at the flag.
You do that.
No shape, just dead straight at the flag. Come on, Stuart. Oh, I've done exactly that. Come on, puppy. Come on, baby. Come on,
you
baby.
did actually call that as well.
Get in. Get in. Come on.
Oh, he missed. That's outrageous. You missed.
Come on.
That's not bad, that. Even if I say so, you got another go now. I don't think you need it. You might as well just...
And that, my friends, it's good coaching.
Just bat it forward a couple of foot because you're not beating that. Is it do cute? 7'3".
Hey, have some of that.
Now, to those of you that didn't realise, Stuart's quite competitive. I am as well.
We are competitive.
But I'm not sure I'm going to beat 7'3". I'm going to have a bloody good go, though.
Oh, I've done it again.
God, this looks like a heck of a guy. You have as well. That's action replay.
I mean, if that is not worth the licence fee of YouTube,
good. That's quite good. That's quite good. That's very impressive. Very impressive.
A cumulative 17 feet, 7 inches from 225 yards away.
Okay, why?
Barnabas?
I see that challenge and I raise you what I'm about to do, which might not be anything special, but we're going to give it a crack.
His little tail wagging, look.
I'm not surprised. I'd be wagging my tail if Daddy had just stuck it to 14 foot in total. Right. I hit it well.
You did that.
And that's coming...
That's not a bad shot either.
Hello.
Is this...
Hello.
Oh, don't you be doing me. Oh, my God. No!
We haven't pre-recorded this, by the way.
13
foot.
I mean, that is... I mean, honestly, folks, I mean, look.
Oh, there was me. I was about to give it the one at the. It's like Woozy at the Ryder Cup when he lipped out. He just.
Yeah, I mean, it
Well,
wasn't bad.
Go. Got another go.
Bad.
Right. Okay.
Incredible shot.
Okay.
I mean, not as good as mine, but
No,
it
it
was
wasn't.
an incredible shot.
So if you'd handed me that at the beginning, I'd have said thank you very much and strutted off. Right.
Oh, ripped it as well. Oh my
It's just
goodness.
drifting right.
That's a shame. It's a cracking strike though. Cracking strike.
Well, I mean,
you're going to take those 4 shots, aren't you?
Well, maybe not that one.
It's coming down.
Not finished
That's
yet.
coming down.
That's not finished yet.
That's coming down.
Oh. It will be in a moment.
Well, rolls down.
That's hole 1.
That's very good. Well, look, I mean, I was very pleased with that.
That was a bit cheeky, wasn't it?
I was very pleased with that.
So, I mean,
7 foot 3 inches.
Not bad.
7 foot 3 inches.
Not bad.
Incredible.
Who's going? No, it's me.
It's you.
163. Right.
163. What are you going with?
I'm going with a. Well, it's a breeze, a little off the right. I'm going with just a smooth 8 iron.
Smooth 8. Smooth 8.
Yeah, smooth 8. I mean, it's actually a pretty solid 8.
I was going to say.
Just trying to sound manful. Almost knifed it. That could work though.
Oh. Straight at it. Straight at it. Oh. That's not bad.
Thin to win.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Tell you what, it didn't deserve to go there. That's
well,
for sure.
you would still tap it in for a 2 though, wouldn't
19
you? You'd
foot.
still be very pleased tapping it in for a 2.
Let's get a proper one. Right.
Oh,
slightly better.
Yeah, that was
probably
bit more,
end up further away.
That was a bit more bottom of the golf ball. That's going very, very nicely. That's
He's
a nice
further
shot.
away though.
Yeah, that's the game, right? It's very, very strange.
22
like
foot.
Very, very strange. Right.
Caught it halfway up the ball the previous one. It went
I
closer.
am going to have a hole in 1.
Right.
That's it.
Hope he does. He has to buy us a drink.
Drinks all round for everyone watching if I go in.
That's a fancy pair of shoes, isn't it? So that sounded like it was an attempt to put you off. It wasn't.
No, that's quite a nice shot. That
I was just drawing.
It's a bit left. Oh, gone a bit far.
Good hit though.
Gone a bit far. Not too bad. Not too bad.
So this looks like a darn good course.
It does, doesn't it?
It's got rave reviews.
Has it?
Yeah.
Right.
Citrus Farms Carew.
Okay, come on, Stu. Oh, that was terrible.
Your problem. You need a 4 iron.
That was terrible.
Needs to be a 4
That
iron.
was terrible. I'm much better with a 4 iron than I am with an 8 iron. Well, 1-1. That was good. That was good. Oh, well, hopefully you enjoyed that. I know.
Draw. I mean,
we should do that more often.
And you should probably. I reckon the look of shock on our faces at the first couple of shots.
Round out.
Yeah.
What time? 7 o'clock. We won't go through the last questions. We will have a look and we will answer those next week. But hopefully you enjoyed that.
It's the bank holiday.
The bank holiday will be the week after, but we'll get back to those. If you've asked a worthwhile question, hang fire. 2 weeks' time.
By the time we get around, there'll be another major.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, hopefully you enjoyed that. We certainly did. We always enjoy these Monday Night Lives. We're going to have next Monday off. No doubt we'll be in the garden, lapping up the British sunshine, hopefully anyway. Simon, James, big thanks as ever, and thank you to tuning in. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a great week, and see you in 2 Mondays' time.